Yo, what's up? Hopefully y'all can hear me. I think everything's probably going well. So, I am currently at my grandparents' house, or yeah, basically their house. They're not here right now, but I'm at their, like, I don't know, a place they own. I'm on vacation. And that means I don't have a second monitor, I just have my laptop. So I'm just kind of squeezing every single window I need to have open into one monitor as best I can. So that means the Danny content is much smaller, and that's why as you can see, the layout is slightly different than it was in the other streams. It will probably be back to normal when I get back home, but it's going to be like a few weeks, or at least a week before that happens. So yeah, anyways, I mean, I don't really think there's much else to say other than, let's get started, I guess. Oh, let me turn on the desktop audio as well. There we go. Okay, you should be able to hear the desktop and the Danny content as well and stuff. I don't know. Okay, so as usual, let me know if there's any audio problems. I think my desktop audio is a bit too loud compared to where it normally is. Let me adjust that real quick. Yeah, let me know if the audio stuff is all right, obviously. Um, Let me make sure that it's not playing.
And upload. Man,
Okay,
making a
it's not playing the desktop audio through the microphone again. That's good. It was doing that like multiple times in the past few streams. So if that starts happening, like if you hear an echo, let me know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, anyways, so if you're new here, um, basically our strategy. This is Milkman Karlson. You probably already know it's made by a very famous game dev YouTuber Danny. Basically in this game there's an unlockable item called, just ignore that pose, called the Gucci Banana, which costs $500,000. And we're trying to get it. So we're actually going with an interesting strategy. You would think we would be going in here, right, and just like shooting enemies for like literal years, because that's probably how long it would take. But instead, I found out that if you go into if you go into one of these levels, like one of these, then when you first spawn in, you pick up a pistol because you spawn right on top of it, which gives you $1 each time. So it basically becomes a clicker game, which is why I have this Danny content that's going to be playing in the background. Because yeah, it gets kind of boring otherwise. And that's also why I greatly appreciate anyone that talks in chat or anything like that. Greatly appreciated, obviously. And yeah, let's go ahead and start the Danny content and get started. Once again, let me know if there's any volume issues. I mean, I doubt anybody's watching right now anyways, but, you know, here we go.
game in one day was crazy. I sure don't hope anyone challenges me to make a game in an even shorter time span, like say for example 1 hour. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. So since we only have like 1 hour this time around, we're gonna make a super simple game with one very simple mechanic. And one game that does this really well already is...
Oh yeah, I gotta make the question of the hour. I almost forgot. So I have this thing where basically every hour of the stream I put a new question in Twitch chat. So let's see here. I guess I'll go with question of the hour. What should I ask? Oh yeah, I was supposed to announce the stream on Discord. I almost forgot. Let me quickly do that on my Discord server. Yeah, sorry, I almost forgot to announce this on my Discord. That should at least maybe bring in one person. I don't know. Alright. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand, but I always forget to post it in my Discord server. Anyways, so yeah, let's type out the question of the hour. How about do which order do you put on your shoes and socks? Sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe. There we go. I don't know. Just can't think of anything else. Anyways, yeah, here we go.
Take a lot of inspiration from Flappy Bird. Hey Flappy Bird, can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure. Just, you know, change it up a bit, make it not so obvious. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll change it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's fair. I should. Hey, yeah. First things first, I made a new project in Unity, and then before doing anything else to keep track of everything I need to do, I made a Trello list on Trello.com. And if I see another comment asking me what this website is, I swear to God I will probably hurt. Let's make the art for the player model. The idea is that you control a rocket instead of a bird because, duh, rocket cool, bird dumb. Then I slapped the rocket into Unity and gave it physics. Now let's do the movement. So the controls are going to be super simple. Hold down a button to accelerate the rocket and release it to make it fall. We're also going to make it rotate towards its velocity, which is going to look a little something like this. That totally didn't work, and it looks a little something like this. Very nice. Rockets make big smoke. So I made some smoke with the Unity particle system and put it into the game, and our rocket now poops
Yet
smoke.
another instance of him saying the words Unity particle system without the crazy joke music and stuff. By the way, since I'm at my since I'm on vacation, like I don't have a desk anywhere, so I've literally got like a setup right now where I brought a chair over from the side of a room. It's not even like a proper chair, it's just like a I don't know what you would call this, like a tiny cushiony chair. And then I put my laptop on my bed, and then I'm just kind of like using my bed as a desk because I don't have a desk on vacation. So,
As it
anyways.
goes. Square. Squares are cool, so I used some squares to make some roof and some floor, and if you crash with it...
I turned up the volume of the video a bit right there. Let me know
if you crash
is
with it,
bad
you're
or
dead.
good or whatever.
Triangle. We need some obstacles to dodge so that you can actually lose the game. So I made a little passage you have to fly through, did some programming, and voila, there's now random map generation. So the game is almost playable now, but it still kind of looks like MS Paint the game. So... enhance. The game actually still looks really bad under the hood, but it's covered in a lot of post-processing effects to fool all of you dummies into thinking that the game actually looks good. Kind of like a girl with makeup. I also did this, and kapow, the colors now dynamically change. Sick. Then I also made the camera follow the player up and down, so it's a bit more dynamic, which also allows us to make bigger maps. And we also need to display the score so you can actually see how far you made it, and it doesn't quite display the score very accurately, but I mean, like a wise man once said, scores don't need to be displayed accurately. Duh, what are you, a dummy? And finally, to make the game playable, we need to finish the game loop. So whenever you crash, you're able to restart the game, and this was pretty much the final piece needed to make the game function. Now we can start polishing things. So first I made the map bigger, I adjusted the speed and the movement of the rockets, and I changed the graphics ever so slightly, and if I may say so myself, it's already looking pretty good. Now rockets make big fire, so I made big fire in Unity and made it activate along with the movement. And just like that, we now have big fire in our game, just like real life. You know what else we have in real life? Sounds. So I made some quick sound effects using SFXR and slapped them into the game, and just like that you can now hear things and use your ears and stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I also quickly imported a font so it kind of suits the game a bit better because the old one was pretty whack. And finally, before the time runs out, I made a little song in FL Studio so we have some music in the game because music makes game better and stuff. I don't know. Music. Yeah. And we're done. So it's been exactly 1 hour, and yeah, oof. So here is the final result. It ended up being more of a mobile game than a PC game, so I might turn it into a mobile game for my next video. You better smash subscribe so you don't miss it. Stop! I'm Danny from the future, and I'm here to tell you the game is now available on Android. Can you even see that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the game is available on if you have an Android, go download. Yeah, video is coming probably 2 weeks. I'm currently reading for my exams, which is why I look like a caveman, and also why I don't really have a whole lot of time for making videos. But I'll be done with my exams in like 1 week, so that'll be good. That's really all I wanted to say. Be gone, choo-choo. Now one problem is that the map sometimes generates an impossible situation where you can't pass, but I'll get that fixed for when I'm updating the game. I did actually cheat a bit though and added one final touch after the time was over because it was necessary, it was really needed. Pow. Yeah, you can download the game with the link in the description down below for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Also, if you're an epic gamer, you can try and beat my high score. Also, make sure you subscribe because at 300,000 subscribers, I'm doing a foot reveal, which you definitely don't want to miss. So yeah, you better slap subscribe now, slapper. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, massive shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys are delicious. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go hit sack now. I mean, hit the sack. Not sack. I would never hit sack. Right, sack? So during summer, I made a mobile game in 7 days. Week. So we're gonna do it in 1 day. Now, I already made a game in 1 hour, so I'm gonna use that as my starting point and give myself until 11 PM instead of midnight. So let's get started. The first thing we need is a main menu, so I made some buttons in Photoshop, and I think it's pretty cool when you can see through the buttons, so I usually make them empty inside, just like I am. Oh fuck. And here you can see the buttons in action. I also added a little endgame screen that shows you how far you got and what your current high score is. Save files. I implemented it early so that we can save high scores, unlocks, and other stuff we might need in the future. Now, if you remember from the last video, the score counter is kinda wonky and we should probably fix it. So I fixed it, and now you get points when passing obstacles. Yep, just like in Flapper Bird. And I also made it so the score counter pops out whenever you increase your score, because I like adding useless features. They make the game reflect my life.
Yo, hold up. Hold on, real quick. Was that a scratch project?
Fixed it, and now you get points when passing obstacles. Yep, just
no way, scratch project. I want let me see if I want to see if I can find that exact thing and see if I can find Danny's account. Hold on. Okay, guess it was a remix or something, because that is wait. Oh no, here's one. Okay, yeah, I guess it's like a remix of some other thing. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to
like
check that out
Flapper
real
Bird.
quick. So there,
And
we
I
have
also
no
made
way
it
of
so the
knowing
score
what
counter
Danny's
pops
account is.
out
That's
whenever
sad.
you increase your score, because I like
I
adding
don't really pay
useless
attention to
features.
that
They
website
make the
anymore, but
game
it's
reflect
funny
my
when I
life.
see references
Oh,
to it.
fuck. Sound effects. I'm gonna use SFXR, which is a free sound effect generator. So I made a little score sound that plays whenever you increase your score. So let's give it a go, and nice. Wait, what? Stop. Fuck. And then I added some settings, so you can turn off the music and sound effects if you don't want to listen to them. And for all of you losers with old phones, I added a setting to lower the graphics. Obviously, I'm not one of those losers with an old phone. My phone is perfectly fine and new and good and fresh and totally not broken, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Shadow Legends.
It's gonna spam the right arrow key.
But before we go any further, time for some quick lunch.
Nah, I didn't realize Danny had gotten sponsored from Raid Shadow Legends at one point. That's funny. Man, those guys get every single good YouTuber at some point. It's so sad. And I still don't know if it's a good game or not. I don't care enough to check it out. But like, it's the only thing that game is known for is for being in YouTube sponsorships, and I don't even know if it's good or not. I haven't done any research, and frankly, I don't care. It's just annoying when I see it in YouTube videos. Raid Shadow Legends, very funny. Yeah, whatever.
And we're back in action, baby. It is time to make some unlockable characters. First, I made a piece of Lego. I'm just kidding, it's a jet, that's a jet. It's totally a jet. Then I made a flying car, which is probably my favorite so far. It just kind of looks cool. And finally, I made a snowman, but something feels a bit off about him, so I made him thick. And there we go. There's now a playable, very thick snowman, just in time for Christmas. But before we go any further than this, let's try and export the game for my phone and see if it even works at all, because it's probably a good idea. So let's build the project, and now we wait. And it's working just fine, but there seems to be a problem with the FPS. It's running very slow, Not sure if it's possible to see on this recording, but it's like maximum 20 FPS. So you're gonna have to do something about that later on. But as they used to say back in the day, you know, if the FPS is slow, you don't have to fix it right away. You can just fix it later or something. I don't know. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. You still probably fix it though. But you know. Next up, we need to make an unlock system so you can unlock the new characters. But first, as all of you know, your boy needs to secure that bread. So let's put some ads in the game. I made a quick add button and you can click it to continue going if you die. And then some weird stuff started happening, I don't know. And I did some code, and just like that, you can now click the add button to watch an ad and you will get invincibility and continue going. Your boy has secured the loaf. I then added some criteria for the unlock so you can see how to unlock the different characters. And if I go ahead and get a good score, you can see it shows what characters I unlocked. Pretty cool. We're also gonna add some money you can collect because duh, being poor is pretty lame. So you can now find randomly spawning coins along the map, and the further into the game you get, the more coins will spawn. Oh, and I also added a goddamn pause button because that's the #1 request I get from you guys on my game. So there you go, motherfuckers. Are you happy now? Then I made it so when objects go too far off the screen, they are destroyed, which will make the game run much smoother, especially on phones. And just like that, we're done with all of the really necessary features. That means we can start working on some extra stuff, and it's only 4:30, so we have a lot more hours to go. First, let's fix the FPS issue for mobiles, but to do that, I need a new keyboard. So
You about to do a double sponsorship?
and with
Sponsor
the
the
new
keyboard
keyboard in my
company?
left hand and my wiener in the right, it's time to get to work and fix this FPS issue. So I did what any developer would do when facing a problem like this. I started pressing random buttons in the export settings. Yep. I mean, yeah, sure. What was this? I don't know, let's click it. Oh yeah, yup, and let's give it a go. Fuck, sure. Click this and that. Oopsie. There we go. And it works just fine. The FPS issue has been resolved, and it now runs at a
No
very
way that
smooth
fixed
60
it,
FPS
actually.
on my
That's
phone.
funny.
Good stuff. Okay, back to the game now. So first off, let's add more characters to unlock. So I tried to think of things that can fly, and I figured out I would make a helicopters because helicopters can fly, and they're pretty cool. And after that, I added a banana because
Gucci banana reference. No way.
bananas are cool too. So yeah. And finally, with a lot of imagination, you might be able to tell this is in fact a paper plane. If you zoom out really far and then you close your eyes, so it's all black, and then you imagine a proper paper plane that actually looks like a paper plane, you might be able to see it. Or not, I don't know. And just like that, we have a lot more characters you can now unlock in the game. Now, as you might know, I'm somewhat of an epic gamer myself. And as such, there should be an epic gamer mode you can play. So first, I made a button for it, and then I made it so you can select between casual and epic gamer, since most of you babies aren't epic gamers like me, so I kind of had to leave the casual option
No,
in there, you know what I'm
paper
saying?
just
So when playing on
bad.
epic gamer, the screen starts to
How long ago
rotate and
was
act
this video?
weird, and you have to use your elite gamer moves to maneuver around. It's pretty cool, which I know, might be hard for you guys, but for a hardened veteran gamer like me, it's a very simple task. Now we only have 2.5 hours left, and one thing I want to try and add is different shapes for the obstacles. Now, adding them is simple enough, but the problem is to account for all of the impossible situations with all of the new shapes, so I'm gonna have to come back to this later if I find time for it. Then I put an option to select graphics at the very start of the game because a lot of phones have problems with fancy post-processing effects, so now it defaults to the lowest graphical setting. And one final touch that makes any game better, explosions. So I made some quick particles, smashed my keyboard a bit, and the rocket now explodes when you lose. Now we're down to 1 hour left, so we should probably start shipping the game. So I built the game, made a cheeky little logo, set up a really professional looking page with a ton of effort. Clicked some checkboxes, I don't know, and done. Now we just wait for Google to approve the app. So the app just got approved, and here you can see it on the Google Play Store. Very cool. And if we go ahead and click open,
Yo,
it
Macaroni
will
and Games, you
open
just
up the
joined
app.
the Daily
Wow,
Dose
who
of
would
Bread
have
Discord
thought?
server. Nice,
And
nice.
yeah, everything seems to be working just fine, which is awesome. So hey,
I
if
had
you have an Android,
I had the Daily Dose of Bread videos scheduled in advance up until today's, and now tomorrow I'm gonna have to like make one, another one really fast. I promised like at least 1 week of the Daily Dose of Bread channel, since it was just a joke channel. I was like I was actually like in like a I was on in a VC on a stream with somebody that's like relatively popular, because I'm a moderator in their Discord, and they let me make the channel and advertise it as a joke. And so I was typing in chat that if we reached a certain goal on the first video view count, I would do an entire week of it. But that's all I promised. So probably not going to go above a week unless it really pops off and people start submitting enough bread for me to actually continue using viewer submitted bread, as stupid as that sounds.
you know, you should probably totally go download it right now.
Also, when I get done with the stream, or at some point, I'll try and remember to give you mod on that server.
Or
Since you're
I
mod on my
will.
Discord, on my main Discord.
Let's get some bread, boys. Ooh. So download right now, or I will.
You probably should submit a
slap
bread.
you
Yeah,
in the
go ahead.
sack. So there it is. There is a link to download the game in the description down below if you want to try it out for yourself. Unfortunately, it's only available for Android as of currently. I really want to get my games out for Apple as well, but the main problem is Apple makes it very hard.
Maybe he'll do it one day,
I
but
also need an
probably
iPhone
not.
for testing,
Not put it on
and I don't
Apple.
have any of those. And there are also
I
a
have an
couple of other
iPhone.
things I
Really
need
is
to
annoying,
kind of
but
look
I can't
into.
play the
But
Danny
I'm going to
games,
start looking
so
into it
sad.
soon, and hopefully we can get my games onto Apple as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that, because I really want to get my games for Apple. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to slap like now, slappers, and subscribe if you liked it, and slap dislike if you didn't. Massive shout out to all of my Patreon supporters as well. You guys are all very delightful, or something. I don't know. And yeah, don't forget to drink your milk, hit the sack, and don't be whack.
So he basically made the Geometry Dash tip game mode, basically. Kinda. Except it's a bit more difficult to control, I suppose.
Hi, and
Stickman game
welcome
is
to
back.
my very first devlog
Famous last words before the first Karlson devlog. This was the last time we ever heard of the Stickman game. Was the Stickman game is back, ironically.
video. So I'm probably gonna have to either Monday or an example of how you can use the cringe to kill your enemies. You kind of know that the damage is coming. To the next level thing from video 10 minutes left. There are some issues with the UI and some. So I'm probably just a bit burnt out and will most likely take a little break from working on off the stakes for like 1 or 2 weeks.
No way, 4 months ago.
I think he's dead. Yeah. What are you doing? I don't think you should. You probably shouldn't touch it. Oh, fuck! I'm back, motherfuckers. For all of you who have no idea what's going on, Off the Stakes is a game I've been working on for a very long time. But 4 months ago,
Very
I took a
long
break
time,
because
he
I was
says.
just completely burnt out.
Meanwhile,
But I
Karlson
suddenly got my
taking, like,
motivation back
over
now for
4
the project,
years.
so it's time to get to work. For starters, I want to mention there's going to be a lot of changes. The main issue was that it was taking way too long to develop and I probably would have never finished. So I'm gonna simplify the art style and make the scope of the game smaller. Essentially, there will be a bunch of minigames, some of which based on previous maps I've made for Off the Sticks, and some inspired by other games I enjoy. But more about that later in the video, so let's get to work. The first thing I want to do, which I've wanted to do for a very long time, is port the game to a newer version of Unity, as it's currently running on an old boomer version from like 2018 or something. So I started by importing the stickman himself, which is a simple enough job, and as you can tell, Billy is able to stand up and balance all by himself. Oh, you're so good at balancing, Billy. Fuck you, Billy, you arrogant piece of shit. Then I added a new smoke effect whenever his feet touch the ground, because it looks cool. Yeah, priorities. And now for the fun stuff. Refactoring and cleaning thousands of lines of old code. Just kidding, it's not fun at all. It actually fucking sucks and makes me want to die. So, yeah. Then I set up a lobby using my own input system I made for Off the Sticks, and now players can join by just pressing a button. And as you can see here, I can use both a keyboard and a controller. Or maybe you can't see because the recording is terrible. Good job, me. And when I start the game, we enter the first map. There will be several types of maps or minigames, survival, versus, and others. But more on that later. So I also set up a camera controller so it's a bit more dynamic, and I made it zoom in on the winner in slow motion. Because duh, like Jesus used to say, bruh, slow-mo is so sick, yeah? Skitty bop bop boom. And finally, for the first...
Okay, I thought he said skibbity for a sec. I thought he said skibbity bop bop. He said skid. God, okay. My brain, okay. Thank God. I read that as skibbity for a second. I was about to fucking die. Like, no way he said that. But then I realized this was, like, years ago.
Prototype, I made it so after you play through all of the minigames, the player with the most points will be declared the winner. So this is the basic idea for the minigames. And with that, version 0.1.5 is done, and here you can see a very early roadmap of what's going to be in the different versions. So with the prototype done, I put together some survival-based minigames to showcase what I want to do for the game. Do keep in mind that these are just some test maps I put together in like an hour, just to give you guys the general idea of how the minigames work.
So it's like that one game called Stick Fights the game. He literally said in the first devlog that he didn't want to make it like that game, and now he's basically just doing the exact same thing, if I'm not mistaken. That's funny.
Survival games, obviously, you just want to be the last person standing. For the versus ones, there's going to be guns and weapons, and you have to.
Although I guess there is
multiple modes, so
that makes it a
but
bit
I'm still working on all of the details regarding all the different minigames, so more on that later. Speaking of versus mode, we need to implement the weapon system from Off the Sticks to this newer version. So I did just that, and now let's celebrate by making a grappling gun, because grappling guns make me go yes. And done. So basically what happens here is the grappler shoots out a ray cast and it connects with whatever it hits using a spring joint. Now, one of the coolest grappling guns I've ever seen is made by Wilno. I just love how the rope is a wobbly boy. It's just very nice. So I tried to recreate it and it turned out pretty cool. Here's the terrible code if you want to look at it, which you definitely don't want to. And you can also grapple other players and objects, which is pretty fun. Or you can be Spider-Man if you want to, whatever you prefer. Then I completely overhauled the shooting system and implemented a test gun. And guess what? You can shoot other players, which is like totally cool and stuff. And if you shoot someone enough, they die. Like, what? Who would have thought? It's crazy. Oh, look, a new gun. Let's try it. Oh. I also added some recoil so you're pushed back whenever you shoot a gun, but it's way too low at the moment, so let's pump it up a little bit so you can actually see the recoil. That should be good, and the bullets will now get the color of the player who shot them, which is just a cool little touch to make it more obvious who the bullet is coming from. And with this new system in place, we can make all sorts of guns. So for testing purposes, I added a rifle, shotgun, and a sniper, which all have different stats like bullet speed, recoil, damage, and so on. And this should make it easier to implement a lot of different and fun weapons. Oh, and I also added milk. Yeah.
No way, milk.
Finally, I tried to do one last minigame just to do some more testing, and this one is inspired by Mario Party's Hexagon Heats. It's a really fun minigame, and I wanted to see how it would work in Off the Sticks, so I quickly put a little test together, and it turned out pretty fun. So these are the kinds of minigames I want to make. I mean, it can be pretty much anything I can imagine. So I'm open for suggestions. If you have any good ideas, let me know. You could, hit me up on Discord or Twitter or whatever. Make sure you follow me there, by the way. There are tons of links in the description, just saying. And yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. So I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this. I also want to mention that everything I've done with Off the Sticks up until this point is not going to waste. I'm probably going to include the previous maps, or at least parts of them, at a later point. But I want to finish a simpler version of the game based around these minigames first, so I can publish the game this century, because that would be nice and you guys could get to try it. And then I will rather update the game afterwards and add single player and co-op stuff. The main reason I'm making this pretty big change is, again, because I want to get the game out for everyone who's been waiting for it, and if I were to keep going like I did, it would have probably taken me years. Another heavily requested game mode is the Gladiator one, which I made a video about. I will definitely include this in the game, so you can play it there whenever it's finished.
Alright, I'm probably gonna end the stream in like 4 minutes. I know it's only been like 30 minutes, and we probably didn't get that much money today, but it's like 9 o'clock almost for me, and that's actually that's like pretty late to be like doing active stuff for me, at least, because I get tired really quickly for some reason. I usually go to bed way earlier than everybody else, so in like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, we're gonna end right when it hits 9 o'clock p.m. for me.
I'm really not quite sure yet.
Actually, no, we'll just wait until, well, no, this video. Okay, we'll go until this video ends. So that's like about a minute.
Monthly or bi-weekly devlog,
Actually,
depending on how much time I have on my hands
basically
and how
the
many
same
other
thing.
projects I'm working on. But yeah, bottom
So
line is, I'm back
if
to
we're
work
at
on
the same pace we were going the rest
fully
of the streams,
motivated
we've probably
again.
done like
Really
2,000.
looking forward to this. I also set up a tutorial channel, which you can find on my channel page or in the description probably, and I'll try to post some stuff there occasionally. So yeah, thanks for being patient and still watching my shitty videos. It is very much appreciated, and I can't wait to see what 2020 brings. I've got a ton of cool videos coming, so y'all better smash subscribe now, or I will smash you. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now, so thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, smash like. If you didn't like it, smash dislike. Also, subscribe now, snappers, because we're doing a foot reveal at 300k. Yeah, also drink milk and hit sack.
And okay, I think we're gonna be done for today. Yeah. That's gonna be it for today, I think. Bye. Alright, yeah, see ya. Bye, macaroni.